Hello, and welcome to this Sustainability and Environmental Management training course. Throughout this course, we will be looking at why sustainability is necessary, how environmental management works, how to create an environmental management system, or EMS, and how to ensure it is working. The concepts in this course will align with those that make up the ISO 14001 Environmental Management Standard. But it will also cover some other hands-on areas, such as how greenhouse gases are quantified, and what your role is in reducing carbon output. But, in the first two modules, we are going to get a sense of the what and the why behind the environment. And so, in this first module, Understanding Sustainability, we are going to look at just that. We are going to explore ways to understand what environmental sustainability is, and different ways to think about it. We will also look at some examples of how organizations have addressed sustainability in their strategies. To do so, we will work through the following sections. What is environmental sustainability? Systems thinking. The 5 Capitals Model. UN Development Goals. And finally, Megatrends. The Sustainability and Environmental Management Module 2. In the previous module, we gained an understanding of what environmental sustainability is, and considered ways to think about it. In this module, we will take a deeper look at some of the biggest sustainability issues we face today. We will explore different ways to take action to address these issues, and look at several case studies that demonstrate ways that other organizations have seen some success in these areas. And so, in this module, we will first examine climate change, global biodiversity loss, resource security, pollution, and nuisance. Then, in the final section, we will consider how these issues might affect your own operations in organizational impacts. Sustainability and Environmental Management Training, Module 3. In this third module, we will look at planning for sustainability. In the previous modules, we looked at the numerous reasons why environmental management is necessary. Now, we are going to turn to the how. How can you incorporate an environmental management system and sustainability into your own operations? And so, in this module, we will explore the following sections. Understanding environmental management systems, EMS. Context. Organizational scope. Leadership. Writing a policy. Roles, responsibilities and authorities. And planning for risks and opportunities. The Sustainability and Environmental Management Training, Module 4. In this fourth module, we will look at laws and other compliance obligations. In the previous module of this course, we introduced the plan, do, check, act model, a widely recognized framework to improve the overall success of your EMS, to reach greater effectiveness in protecting the environment and avoiding adverse environmental impacts. We then started looking at the plan stage, and key elements that form a part of it, including determining the context and scope of your organization, and writing a policy. In this module, we will continue with another key element of the plan stage, compliance obligations. To review, compliance obligations are the relevant laws, regulations, and other requirements your organization must adhere to. Under ISO 14001, compliance obligations falls under Clause 6, Planning. But, regardless of whether or not you are seeking ISO certification, having a clear understanding of how your organization interacts with compliance obligations is essential. And so, in this program, we will look at understanding compliance, international agreements and national strategies, key legislation, regimes, other regimes, enforcement, and your obligations. The Sustainability and Environmental Management Training, Module 5. In this fifth module, we will look at target setting. Here, we will first continue looking at the plan stage of the Environmental Management System, or EMS. And so, we will first look at environmental aspects and impacts, and setting objectives and targets. These are two important requirements of ISO 14001 and necessary for any EMS. Also in this module, we are going to explore what your organization can do to help tackle climate change and greenhouse gases, GHGs. As we have seen, climate change is an issue of focus for the government and regulators, and international bodies. Pollution, biodiversity loss, and resource reduction are all closely tied to climate change. As such, your organization's relationship to GHGs, which contribute to climate change, is likely to be a significant environmental aspect, and one that should form part of your EMS. So, we will look at how quantifying emissions works, Scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions, calculating emissions, and setting emissions targets. These sections will help you get actual numbers for your operational greenhouse gas emissions and determine your goals around these emissions. To Sustainability and Environmental Management Training, Module 6, Resource Efficiency and Tackling Emissions. In this module, we are going to begin exploring the do phase of the plan. Do. Check. Act management system. The do stage is where the actual implementation of the plan takes place. So, here, we will explore ways of meeting the targets you set in the previous module. In particular, we will look at both resource efficiency and tackling climate change. These two are closely related. In most cases, if you reduce the resources you use, you will reduce your negative impact on the global climate. And so, in this module, we will first look at evaluating the possible solutions you have for meeting your EMS targets. Then, we will consider ways to tackle resource efficiency and reduce your carbon footprint through process redesign, efficiency in facilities and fleet, managing waste, installing renewables, purchasing clean energy, and tackling Scope 3 emissions. Sustainability and Environmental Management Training, Module 7, Support and Operations. In the previous module, we looked at the do stage of the plan, do, check, act model that forms a core of environmental management systems, or EMS. In particular, we focused on how resource efficiency and tackling emissions fit into meeting your organization's targets and objectives. Here, we will continue with the do phase, looking at the support and operations necessary to meet your goals. Support and operations are both specific requirements under ISO 14001. under the ISO 14001 high-level structure. Support falls under Clause 7, which considers the elements that underpin your EMS and help it to run successfully. And operations fall under Clause 8, which relates to how an environmental management system is practically implemented within an organization's operations. And so, in this module, we will cover these clauses in greater detail as we work through the following sections: support and resources, awareness and communication, documented information, operational planning and control, and finally, emergency preparedness and response. The Sustainability and Environmental Management Module 8, Measuring and Reporting Frameworks. Earlier in this course, we introduced the plan, do, check, act cycle, a popular model for creating an environmental management system, EMS. We then worked through the plan stage, which lays the groundwork for our environmental management strategy. And we looked at the do stage, which implements that plan. In this module, we will move on to the check stage. During the check stage, your main job is to review and evaluate the performance of your EMS, to ensure that it is effective in achieving its intended objectives. In other words, here you check that it is working. The content of this module relates to Clause 9 of the ISO 14001 high-level structure, performance evaluation. And so, in this module, we will explore the following sections: monitoring and measurement, planning and implementation of monitoring systems, analysis and evaluation, internal audit, and, finally, types of reporting. Sustainability and Environmental Management, Module 9, Taking Action. Over this course, we have looked at the plan, do, check, act cycle, a recognized model for creating an environmental management system, or EMS. We began by exploring the plan stage, which is about analyzing your current situation, setting targets, and developing a roadmap for implementing your EMS. We examined key areas, such as environmental policy, roles and responsibilities, risks and opportunities, environmental aspects, compliance objectives, and targets and objectives, which includes quantifying carbon emissions and setting emissions targets. After plan, we moved on to the do stage, which is about executing the plans and putting them into action. First, we looked at the do stage in terms of resource efficiency and reducing carbon emissions, integral parts of most EMS strategies. We also explored how to provide adequate support and operations to ensure your actions are successful, looking at areas such as awareness, communication, and training, documented information to support your EMS, and systems required for operational control. Next, we examined the check stage. The check stage is where you evaluate and monitor your EMS results and compare them against the objectives set in the plan stage. We looked at monitoring and measurement, which gathers data about how your system functions, analysis and evaluation to gain perspective on what that data means, internal audits, which ensures the effectiveness and compliance of your EMS, and reporting, which provides transparency and accountability for your system. In this final module of the course, we will examine the act stage of the plan, do, check, act cycle. The ACT stage is all about taking action based on the results and findings obtained during the check stage. It involves implementing changes and improvements to address any issues or opportunities that have been identified. And so, in this module, first we will look at understanding nonconformities, to learn about the different types of shortcomings that may occur in your EMS. Second, we will look at handling nonconformities to learn about systems that must be in place to deal with shortcomings when they arise. Third, we will explore the role of upper management in ensuring your EMS improves in management review. Finally, we will look at how continual improvement is an overarching theme of the plan, do, check, act cycle, and necessary to ensure the ongoing success of your EMS. We will conclude this course by taking a broad view of environmental management in risk, opportunity and vision.